and I was able to see that beautiful change of character right to this area. Price breaks underneath that and comes in retests the opposite side of that previous support. I was able to tap perfectly into this amazing level and make over $3,200 in basically 25 minutes. All right, so I just arrived in Holland. This week, I'm going to be trading on the go. I'm working this week with partners here in Holland on a software project. So I'm going to be trading right here. Goal is to be able to crush a daily record of 4,000 on Smog. If all goes to plan, we're going to hit that. But basically, I'm going to show you a little bit inside the day of a full-time day trader. Ready? Cheers. Cheers, boys. Cheers. Look at that.
All right, guys, welcome. Thank you quickly because we want this to
Good morning, sir. All right, so a little bit of a workout before I trade the New York session open. Since it's like 6 hours ahead here, I have to wait until 3 in the afternoon in order to trade the 9 o'clock open. So we're gonna get a quick workout in here, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm going to trade the session. We're going to break the daily goal of 3,000, hopefully. So yeah, till then, time to get the bomb. So we got Wessel over here. Wessel, say hi to everybody. What do we got over here?
The trade entry, for example, performance tracking.
Definitely good. Good job so far. Let's get it. So hopping into the beginning of the day, what I always am looking to do is find a general direction for the market to go. And then I'm going to pick, based on analysis, which areas I'm going to enter and for what reason. Today, there's the Trump inauguration. Basically, what I'm looking at is the price of Solana got pushed up dramatically from the meme coin launch. And there's a saying called buy the rumor, sell the news. So what I'm doing is using a technical level here to be able to take an entry in the market, anticipating that the price will overall move down. So you can see right here on my chart, this is a price chart of Solana. Right here, I have a sell signal and price has moved up into an area of heavy resistance. So I'm positioning myself so that if this price is to roll over and make a move to the downside, I'm going to be able to capitalize on that. My strategy basically allows me to predict these levels. My risk is basically contained right here. So if this price level is broken up through, I'm risking $500, but if price is to be able to come down to this level or even below it, I should be able to make $2,500, $3,000 risking $500. So as a day trader, that's my overall goal. So I've entered this trade and now all I'm really doing is waiting for this key level to be broken through so I can then go and reduce the risk down to break even. Name of the game is basically setting your initial risk, reducing risk when at all possible, and then being able to play momentum in the current direction. So I'm looking for a nice juicy drop here on Solana, hoping that it was a buy the rumor, sell the news. We see some weakness in the overall chart and we're able to capitalize on that short term. If it goes against us, we're going to log it down and then we'll just move on to the next trade. So price did come up and end up wicking out through this level, and now we're getting a dump off again. So there are some key levels I would consider to take another short position in here if we do get the price to move up. So I'm going to set up another entry right here. I'm really just trying to catch a nice big move up. And what I'm noticing is that these levels here, if the price is to come up and interact with this trend line, okay, it's going to come up and should potentially come over and retest the underside of this. There's heavy resistance up in this zone, so I am going to set up an order and hopefully we're able to capture a nice move to the downside. We just tapped into our entry here on our second trade into this resistance underside retest. I'm really looking for this to be able to flip down and break underneath this level where we just entered into the trade. So now I have my risk defined and I just need to see a nice rollover in price. so on trade number 2, we did get that response off of that key level. Price came down, broke, and then it did come down beautifully. I adjusted my take profit to this zone. We're able to get a 6.2 risk reward. So what's cool about this and why day trading is so cool is because I can risk $500, but in a situation like this, if I'm right about my idea, I can take that $500 risk and multiply it by, in this case, 6.2 to make around $3,000 in profit. So right now I have a 50% win rate. So I've been wrong half the time, been right half the time, but on my loss, I contained it down to about a $600 loss. And on the win, I made about $3,000. So I'm up a net profit of $2,400. So that means that I could lose essentially 4 to 5 more trades all day and still break even. Hopefully I'm able to take 1 or 2 more trades today. And if we have a good outcome, we could end the day up $4,000, $5,000 plus dollars in a single session. And that's really the cool part about being a day trader. I'm in Holland and I'm able to make $2,400 in just a few hours of my time, really locking in and mastering this. Okay, so I did set my take profit at this level here because I saw that this was a pretty critical level before, but it looks like the price is dropping significantly now past this take profit zone. So we are now getting a little bit of a bounce in the price action. So what I'm going to do while I let the market sort of reset to see if we're going to take any other positions is I'm going to log my trades into my trade journal. So this trade journal sort of allows me to be able to stay on track during my trading sessions. You can see right here, I have a little daily checklist that I like to follow. And then below here will be my master trade log where I can basically click on this element, put the date, click on the day. Today's Monday, select the coin sold, put the time frame of the trade, whether it was a long or short, put my risk percentage, whether it was a win or loss. In this case, this trade was a win. I made $3,212. I can fill out my other information. And then what I like to do is click on this button right here on Notion, take a screenshot and just drop it nicely into this trade here on Notion. That way I can go over into my gallery view and take a look at a screenshot of all of the individual trades that I've taken over time. All right, so off of our entry, we got some support and then a buy signal into this key zone here. So I'm hoping that I'm able to take a nice buy, flip through this trend and have a continuation up to this zone. All right, so we got our initial response here. We're in our position. We just need this to make a nice move to the upside off of this level. Now, this is something that I do look for too, which is called a change of character. All right, and so it's basically when price is moving pretty strongly down, there's a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and now there is a new high over that critical level. That's called a change of character. That can sometimes indicate that you're going to get big swift moves or changes in direction, which is why I wanted to tap sort of into this overall area. Once again, this is our key level that we're going to watch to break, right? So it would have been nice to be able to have this level break before this happening. That's usually my highest conviction setups, right? But I did want to be able to play this nice little reversal up into space. If we were able to break over this level, we can reduce risk. So I'm hoping at the very least we get that sort of move before another move to the downside, but this is trading. So we're going to see what happens now. So in these situations, what I'm looking for is a candle close over that previous high before my entry. So you'll see we got our entry right at this point. We already got our close above. So what I'm now doing is I'm placing my stop loss at the break even level. So if the momentum dies on this trade, comes back out and touches our entry, we're basically out for nothing. This is going to allow us to play momentum and also reduce risk when our initial idea is right. So I'm going to stop talking and actually update my order. All right, so trade is starting to move nicely in our direction. Hard level for it to break through is going to be this area. And I'm expecting that as we break through these levels, what I always like to do is I always like to look at where the price is going to come in contact with the underside of this trend. So actually, if we're able to come up and poke this specific level, I think I might actually take the trade off the table a little bit early, just considering how bearish this overall price action is. So I'm really looking for this target and I'm going to take the trade off. It's only a 3.3 risk reward if we are to get there, but that's still a pretty nice little trade for the session. That's some heavy set resistance into the day. So I'm going to look for that as the target. So price just went up to this key level here. It's hitting some resistance. So I'm not sure if this is going to roll over and sort of be the top and start to fizzle off, but I did take the trade offer just over $1,500 in profit at this beautiful level. Okay, I made a 3.3 risk reward on this. Once again, that's 500 times 3.3. 16 plus $3,100 is $4,700 in 3 trades in about 2 hours in the session. Okay, I did lose $560 something on that trade. So my net total for the day is just around $4,200, but that was our temporary top level here. So just to show you, this stuff does work when you learn it and you master it and you're able to do this. I'm showing you me doing this in real time. This is the opportunity with day trading and what makes it so cool. Considering I'm in Holland and I'm doing a bunch of different things, the time zones are a little bit weird. I might take some trades a little bit later when I get back home if I see some really good setups. I'm gonna get cleaned up, head out and meet the guys for dinner tonight. We're gonna have a fun night and see what we can find for trades when I come back. Look at the price of Sol as this is happening. Got out of our long here. Crazy. Alright, so this morning I just basically spent some time working with the team here in the office. Obviously I'm in Holland, so I'm trying to maximize the time with the team, but I do want to review and sort of go over the session from yesterday because we were able to get in and out, do about 3 trades, and normally these sessions will take almost the entire day. This time we were able to get in and out in a few hours, which is like a dream situation as a day trader, right? You want to get in and out, maximize as much money you can extract from the market, but I really want to show you inside how I was able to sort of predict these specific levels and set myself up in a situation where I can maximize my profits. So normally what I'm doing in any trading session is I'm going up to my time frames on my chart and I'm looking at an overall view of what the market's going to do. Now, a lot of times this will be technical, but yesterday it was fundamental considering that Donald Trump was getting inaugurated. So in trading and investing, a lot of times what we're using is something called buying the rumor, selling the news. And oftentimes what will happen is everyone will speculate an event, and then when the event actually happens, you realize what the actual value of that event is, and that most of the time, considering the markets are speculative vehicles, it's already priced in. So I knew that going into the inauguration. We had the meme coin launched. We also had Solana increasing dramatically in price. Considering Solana was the primary driver of that event, as a day trader, I want to hop into that opportunity. So I spent the day basically anticipating that we would get a momentum move to the downside. So sort of trying to look at that overall move once we were up in this region. And that's exactly what ended up happening over time. And then it was really just about using my system to target those specific opportunities. And that's something called daily bias. So I had my daily bias to the bearish side. So the first trade idea was a short position on Sol. So I'm actually making money when the price of the asset is moving down. And what I was looking for is something called a fair value gap. Now there's something called a bullish and bearish fair value gap. And this is something that we're targeting as potential reversal areas. So basically if we have 1, 2, 3 candles, these are all black candles. So it means that overall the net move is down. And so what we're doing is finding the wick of the first candle and the wick of the last candle in that move. And the area in between that point is called the fair value gap. Now, if price can break down below it and then come back up, I can target the middle point of this move. And this oftentimes can be crazy points where the market will reverse down. And this is on a 1-minute time frame. So these moves can happen really, really quickly. I'm obviously using other ways of doing analysis on the chart, but for this specific setup, I was noticing that there was a lot of what's called resistance in this area. So basically price coming up, reattempting this level, failing, reattempting this level, failing again. So I noticed I got my sell signal. And then right here, I noticed that there was a nice fair value gap to be able to enter into right in this potential resistance zone. Now, what I could have potentially done better is waited for something called a change of character, which is basically when you have an uptrend where there's a low, there's a low, there's a low, and then there's a big break and a new low that sort of breaks out of that previous trend. In this case, we have an uptrend that is broken to the downside. So that would be a change of character. And that can oftentimes lead to these really, really quality setups. And you'll see in this situation, had I have waited for a better change of character, which was presented here, I could have actually gotten short right into that same exact zone off of this better fair value gap. And I would have been able to capture a really nice move to the downside. But instead, price came back up, wicked me out, and then ended up making the move that I was looking for. Maybe because I was rushing myself a little bit more. It's obviously day trading. I'm working on a laptop because I'm traveling right now, so it's a little harder. Okay, but overall, the most important thing that I did well was I contained my risk on this trade. So if you look over here, I was risking $500 with slippage and everything. It was about $650. So a nice contained small risk, and I was able to move on to the next trade. And you'll see, I realized that I had made that mistake, and I was able to see that beautiful change of character right to this area, as well as what I call an underside retest. So basically we have lows, 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 price breaks underneath that and comes and retests the opposite side of that previous support. Now you can see this all over the markets, and you'll see me using this to take profit on another trade and how impactful this is as a day trader. But basically I'm just reading these charts, reading these critical levels, and being able to set myself up in a probable situation to be able to keep the risk really contained and have open-sided upside. And that's exactly what happened here. So I was able to snag that really beautiful entry, and price dropped beautifully down into my area. In order to get out in an optimal area, once again, I found these critical areas of resistance where the price came up, bounced off of before the price took a big move and broke out of that specific area. And I set my take profit zone right in that area. And lo and behold, that's where the price took a larger move back up. So off of this trade, I was able to make about 6.2 risk factors. So in this situation, considering I'm risking approximately $500, I was able to tap perfectly into this amazing level and make over $3,200 in basically 25 minutes. So if you look at that from sort of a math perspective, perspective, now I could essentially lose 5 or 6 more trades in a row and I would still be break even on the day. And that's sort of what we're looking to do with trading. We're looking to let those winners be really, really open-ended. And that's how I'm able to make, you know, $3,000 to $5,000 in a single trading session on a recurring basis. Even if I have losing days, on the days that I really win, I win fairly big. And on the losing days, I'll just keep it really small and contained. And that's the beauty of being a day trader, is you can really do it from anywhere. And you can have that open-ended income generating machine for yourself if you're able to master these processes. And the cool part about this strategy is after I saw this massive swing to the downside, I was able to analyze a potential long opportunity where now I'm taking the opposite side of that move and waiting for the market to go up and taking a trade off of that. So you'll see we have this dramatic push down in price. We have a buy signal here, as well as, once again, waiting for that confirmation of the change of character, which I didn't do in the first trade. And on the second two, lo and behold, don't FOMO in late, follow the strategy tighter. And I was able to make a really beautiful trade, entering perfectly into this area right at that fair value gap after the change of character. Price comes up beautifully, pushes up, and you'll see, I guess I could have extracted slightly more out of this trade, but what I was looking for is this underside retest, all of these underside retests before a break. And lo and behold, even though price broke a little bit through that level, this could have easily been that area before a massive dump. And this is where the inauguration process actually just started. So you'll notice the market got extremely volatile, and that overall concept of buying the rumor, selling the news, as soon as Trump became president, Solana actually dumped, contrary to what most people think, where they think, okay, he becomes president, everything's going to be hype and the price is going to move up. This is how you have to think in opposition to the way most people are going to think, and that's how you can present sort of opportunities that are only accessible to people who are thinking at it the right way. But I was able to extract 3.3 risk factors. So in this situation, I made a little over $1,500. Beautiful win, putting our daily winning percentage at 66%, which statistically is slightly high for the system. Usually when I'm trading with this style, I'm at about 30%, and putting our daily profit total at over $4,100. And the beautiful thing, once again, is this really didn't take all that long. I was able to go out to dinner afterwards and really be able to enjoy my time while I'm able to generate income for myself at the same time. All right, but tonight we're meeting up with investing partners. I'm gonna enjoy my last night in Amsterdam, then I'm heading home tomorrow. But I really just wanted to show you a day in the life as a day trader, and also show you a version where I'm on the go, sort of traveling, doing this job, to show you the opportunities that it brings, but also show you the reality inside actually being a day trader. If you're still here, make sure you hit the like button on the video. If you're new here and you want to know when I drop videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you want access to any of these tools that I've shared with you on this screen, you can go in the description below, follow me on Instagram, and then DM me the word tools, and I'll have that sent over to you automatically. You can check out other videos right here. But until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.